Hey YouTube, it's Mandak coming at you with another video. Let me just adjust this because it seems like it's okay. Cool. So it's another video, another comic haul. I hope you guys are all having a great Sunday evening. Um, you know, I just got done watching the NFC Championship game. In the middle of watching the AFC Championship game right now. So for any sports fans out there, as of this point, we only know that the Rams are going to the Super Bowl. That was a crazy game. But yeah, so we'll see what happens with the AFC Championship game. It's not looking good for the Kansas City Chiefs. But yeah, anyone who doesn't know, I am a big sports fan. I am, I do follow the Eagles religiously. I also follow Penn State football as well. I was a really big Phillies fan, and now that they kind of suck, it's kind of hard to follow them. Sixers, Flyers. I'm a Philly fan through and through. So yeah, but yeah. So today we have a haul video. Like I said last week when I did my Q&A, um, I had a few small hauls that I collected over the holidays and into the new year that I figured save up and do a little haul video today for you guys. I'll tell you right now, a lot of these books are epic collections, so it's always nice to get those books. They're definitely my favorite format to look for. And for me at least, when I go shopping for comics, I usually, especially online, I'll definitely do like a look, see, usually once or twice, um, each week to try to see if any epic collections drop on Amazon in terms of price. Usually when they drop, below $15, is when I usually try to jump on them and grab them because usually they go back up in price. Um, so I found a few like that, and then I found a few on release and then damage sales on IST. So I was able to nab them for pretty good prices. But yeah, so I'll go over all that stuff today. Like I said, some of this is from Amazon, In Stock Trades, Tales of Adventure. I stopped by there about a few weeks ago, and then some other places. So not like not one direct place I bought the stuff from. This is over a few weeks. So without further ado, I'll get started. We'll start with the single issues. So got all Iron Man issues here. This is from Second and Charles. Just trying to find some extra Iron Man issues that I don't have. So I'll make sure to put these into my spreadsheet before I file them away. First one here is Iron Man Volume 2, Number 2. So this is Scott Lobdell, his run on Iron Man, which is really, really bad. Apparently, according to some people. I still gotta read it. I have the collection, so I'm probably gonna read that at some point soon, hopefully. I'm trying to wrap up a lot of the collections that I've read with Iron Man, but I'm always hesitant to because I don't want to like be done with Iron Man forever. I kind of want to have like something I can always read that's new. But yeah, so this is the second issue of that run. You can see here you got Hulk, so cool stuff. All right, next issue we get is Iron Man Volume 2, Number 3. So just another cover here. This is from January of 1997. So just to go over again, this was the Heroes Reborn era. Yeah, Heroes Reborn, where Marvel was trying to do a soft reboot of all their characters after their Volume 1 stuff. Didn't really work out. A lot of the titles really sucked. So what they ended up doing was this ran for about a year, and then they canceled it, and then they came out with Heroes Return, which had some really good comics come out of that era, including Kurt Busiek's Iron Man, and then I want to say, is it Mark Waid? Mark Waid's Captain America. I think that's who wrote that. So yeah, I still gotta get that omnibus, but we'll see. So next book we have here is Iron Man Volume 2, Number 4. So you can see here, you have I think that's called the Promethean armor. And just looking at it looks awful. I mean, I don't know what the hell they were trying to do with it there. It just doesn't work. It looks terrible. And I'm not a big fan of this. It's funny. A lot of the first thing you always see of all these Iron Man comics and comics in general is the logo. And sometimes logo is just awful. And this one I just don't like. I just don't like this Iron Man logo. It's too much texturing and detail. I don't think it flows. I mean, I know that's not the first thing you see with this when you look at this, but yeah, got that one. It's only a 13 issue series, so I should have it collected soon. Next Iron Man issue. Excuse me. We get into is Iron Man Director of Shield. So this is post Civil War. This is collected in the Director of Shield complete collection, I believe, which I snagged last year for like $10, which was a pretty good deal. Um, so you can see here, this is the armor from Civil War. Pretty cool armor in my opinion. I like this armor concept. I thought it was pretty sleek and modernized for this era, this decade, this millennium. Um, so yeah, so really cool issue. Haven't read it, but I'm excited to collect it. Next one here we get into, and I paid an extra dollar for this. This is only $2 actually, but paid $2 for this, and it is Iron Man Volume 4, Number 1, I think. And this is Warren Ellis's run on Iron Man, beginning of it. Also the first part of the Extremis story arc, which was famously, I guess, used as reference for the third Iron Man movie. So you can see here, this is a classic cover that you've seen a lot of thumbnails for Iron Man stuff. Just a really good story arc. Not a lot of text, but just a great story. It really it really set the tone for the modern day of Iron Man books. So I think it's a good story. Anyone who's looking at getting into Iron Man, I would definitely suggest picking up Extremis. It's a really approachable story that I think a lot of people can pick up and read and not really know a lot about the character other than his bare bones stuff. But yeah, so really cool to own this issue. Yeah. Oh, these are out of order. Let me get. I try to sort them by most recent to, or at least less recent to most recent. So the next one we get here is the Invincible Iron Man number 516. This is from the Long Way Down storyline from Matt Fraction's run on Iron Man, and um, so I've recently read Matt Fraction's whole Iron Man run. I started it in I think like March or April of 2017, and I finished it up a little bit later that year once I collected it all. But it's a really good run. The stories are great. The boil up with the Mandarin at the end pays off. Um, and the character development is pretty cool with Pepper Potts and Maria Hill and Rhodey and all those guys. So this is just another one of those storylines, and yeah, another great run that I would suggest people to pick up if they're just trying to get an Iron Man and they want to read something that's really new. Definitely pick up the first trade of Matt Fraction's Iron Man, which is titled I think The Five Nightmares or something like that. So yeah, it's a cool issue to have. I'm slowly trying to collect all of Matt Fraction's run in single issues, but that's probably gonna take me a little bit of time. It's a little hard to find those issues, especially for cheap. So this one is actually from the last story arc of his run before it got canceled or ended. I think it just ended. And this is The Future, Part 3. So you can see here another type of armor. To be honest, I'll be honest, I don't really remember a lot from that last story arc. But it was pretty cool, I thought. The art throughout this whole book is just awesome. Anyone who's a fan of Salvador Larroca definitely would suggest to pick this up. He's on throughout this entire book almost. I think only books he doesn't illustrate I think is like the annuals, but I could be wrong. He could also have illustrated those too. But yeah, pretty consistent team throughout, and I think that's probably a reason why that book was good. So the last single issue I have here, I picked up because I saw it for $2, and I actually already read it, so I didn't see a need to like wait for a trade or something. So I bought Tony Stark Iron Man by Dan Slott. Um, so I was gonna buy this when it came out, but I was like, it was $5, I think. Yeah, and I'm like, I'm not paying $5 for a fucking single issue. So I waited, and sure enough, it showed up in discount bins at Second and Charles. There was other issues from the first series there, so I might end up getting those two instead of the trade. We'll see. Um, but I think actually it might be more expensive if I do that, so I'm not gonna do that. But yeah, I thought this was a pretty good kickoff to the new series, and I'm excited because there's been a lot of hinting towards Iron Man 2020 to make an appearance in this series. The only question is, will this series last until 2020? We'll see. I mean, I would hope, I would imagine that they would probably make sure that happens if they're going to do this whole story build up with Iron Man 2020. So excited to see where that goes. Not a lot of stuff going on really in the co- comics world of Iron Man. Um, I mean, Jacosta's back, and it's cool because Jacosta's actually in the Iron Man Volume 3 stuff with Casada and Kurt Busiek, so that's really cool that she's brought back as like an AI assistant for Tony. Um, but yeah, just crazy Iron Man stuff as well. So those are all my single issues. Like I said, picked up some Iron Man stuff. Nothing from Volume 1. I actually picked up one book from Iron Man Volume 1. I didn't put it in this list because I came home and I put it in my inventory, and I went to go put it in my collection, pulled it out, scrolled to the spot I had to go, and I realized I already bought the issue. So I fucked up there. I don't know how I missed putting that issue in already. So yeah, I have two issues of like Iron Man 159 or 160 something. I don't know what it is, but yeah, who cares? I only paid $1, so it's not a big deal. Okay, so get into the trades here. I'll start with the smallest one, and this is Tales of Suspense, Captain America, and Iron Man. So this is a book, a small graphic novel book that came out. I'm not sure what year this came out. Let me check for you. 1994, this book came out. So I guess it's like a small anthology book that came out in I guess honor in reference to the Tales of Suspense book that was out in the 1960s that Captain America and Iron Man shared for I don't know how many years, like probably 5 or 6 years before they both got their own series. Um, so this kind of just I guess recaptures that same type of magic between the two of them. Um, and it's pretty cool because you know when I read the Iron Man essentials, they had the Tales of Suspense issues in there, but they only had the half that had Iron Man stuff in it. But I would always see covers for like the Captain America stuff, and I was like, huh, I wonder what the Captain America stories were about. And that's why I went out and bought the Captain America Lives Again Epic Collection because that collects all of the Tales of Suspense stuff from the other half of all those issues. So I'm excited to go back and reread that from a Captain America perspective. I think these stories, I think this might just be one story, but with the two of the characters in there. So I'm excited to see, you know, um, what's in here. Looking at Marvel, especially back in the 1960s, Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor were kind of that triumvirate of the Avengers characters, at least. Obviously you had Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, X-Men, but in terms of the Avengers, the big three were always Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor. So seeing stories with Iron Man and Captain America was always a good story to me, at least. They're two essential pillars of the Marvel universe, I think. So that's cool. I got that for like $5. Next book we have here is Black Panther Epic Collection Volume 4. So I bought the first three epic or complete collections. Did I say epic? I meant to say complete collections. I bought the first three complete collections of Christopher Priest's Black Panther run about a year ago, actually, for my birthday. And excuse me. I held off on buying this one because my friend was telling me that this last one isn't that good, and there's not a lot of T'Challa in this book. I think someone else takes up the mantle as Black Panther. But the completionist in me wanted to have this so that I could feel like I could read the whole run and in its finality and be done with it. So I picked this up on Amazon for really cheap. Actually, it was like $3.68 plus $4 shipping. So I ended up getting this for like a little bit under $8. And for a complete collection of this thick, I think that's a pretty good deal. Um, this is from 1998. So modern art style. Kind of, obviously, it's from the same time period, but it reminds me a lot of like Kurt Busiek's Iron Man run with Sean Chen. So excited to read this. Now that I have this whole collection, I can sit down and go through this. Black Panther is a really cool character. I'm excited. He's getting Jack Kirby's um, Jack Kirby's run on Black Panther is getting printed into an Epic collection that's coming out in I think a few more weeks. And that's gonna pick up right after Don McGregor's run on Black Panther with the jungle action stuff. So I'm really excited to get that and then read this. And then I think I have pretty much all the essential stuff that I have for Black Panther. I've been doing some research into Hudlin and JR's run on Black Panther. May end up getting that. We'll see. But yeah, these are really good books too for anyone who's looking to get them. They're really well. The spines look great. The book looks pretty well together. Marvel makes pretty good complete collections. Those have been around for longer than Epics, and they do a pretty good job making them their own pieces, for each type of character and book. So, yeah, cool stuff. All right, so getting down to the pile here. I was in Second and Charles on Thursday of this past week, and I was walking around, and I just found this Iron Man issues. I'm like, I guess I'll just go check out. I can't find any collections that I wanted or that were priced well. And I walked by like a shelf, like an end cap that had all this Captain Marvel stuff. Obviously promoting the new movie that's coming out in a few months. And I looked around, and I saw they had the fourth complete collection of Earth's Mightiest Hero, and I was like, okay, well, I need that for my collection because I have the first three already over here. So the fourth one I needed. And I was looking through, and I pulled over the first one. The first one was $5, and I'm like, oh shit, this is on sale. And I kept pulling past the other ones, and they were all full price. I'm like, well, why is this one on sale? So I ended up getting it for $5, and that's it right here. So this collects Captain Marvel in the 2014 series, numbers 12 through 15, and Captain Marvel in the Carol Corps numbers 1 through 4, and that's from the Secret Wars, I think back in 2015. So I'm excited to read this. I think this is the last complete collection of Kelly Sue DeConnick. I don't know how you pronounce her name. Her run on the character. She had I think 2 or 3 volumes of Captain Marvel stuff because it kept getting rebooted and canceled and stuff. So yeah, excited to read this. I plan to read a lot of Captain Marvel stuff before the movie comes out. Whether or not that happens, though, is the real question. As of right now, I have the original Captain Marvel stuff with Captain Marvel. I have all 4 complete collections with Carol, and then the next book I'm going to show has some stuff as well. So I'll show that then, since I already set it up. So this book just came in the mail this past weekend. I was really excited to get it. I opened it up, and I was like, wow, this book is small. And this is Miss Marvel, This Woman, This Warrior Epic Collection. So the reason why this is so small is because you can see here, comparing a regular Epic Collection size. I don't want to pull anything off the shelf, but this is about half the size of a regular Epic Collection. I mean, the logo barely fits on top and all this stuff. But yeah, so this collects the first 14 issues of Miss Marvel, Marvel Team Up numbers 61 through 62, and Defenders number 57. So this is the original stuff with this is the original Carol Danvers stuff that I'm really excited to read. You have Chris Claremont, Jerry Conway, and the Buscema brothers on art. So I'm really excited. This book's gonna look nice, and I'm hoping that this book is is has some good stories. You got some good writing stuff on here, writers on here. So obviously, we all know Miss or Carol was technically Miss Marvel before she became Captain Marvel. She didn't get that title, I think, until like 2000 something, like 2008 or 2009 or something. She hasn't been Captain Marvel for really long, so I'm really excited to read this. Even back in the during Iron Man's run, she was known as Warbird or Miss Marvel, I think, still. But yeah, we'll see. Here's the back. So you can see here it says Miss Marvel, the once and future Captain Marvel in her first adventures. So the second epic collection that collects the second half of this material is coming out, I think, in the next few weeks. Actually, I think in another week or so. So I'll have to pick that up as well. But yeah, this was cheaper than what most epics go for. This was $35. Got it for half price, so 17. But most epic collections go for 40. I've seen one go for 45, which was like a Daredevil epic. So yeah, cool to have some nice 1970s, late 70s stuff. So shouldn't be too text heavy, I'm hoping. And it should be a good read. All right. So getting down to it, we go from a really thin epic collection to a thick boy, and that is the Silver Surfer Thanos Quest. So obviously, I read Infinity Gauntlet. I talked about that in my previous video. I read Infinity Gauntlet Aftermath, Infinity War. I actually just ordered Infinity War Aftermath, so I'm gonna get that in the mail and read that hopefully sometime soon. And then I have the first volume of Infinity Crusade, and I'm gonna get the second Infinity Crusade volume hopefully sometime soon. But I got this book because it has Thanos Quest in it, and obviously I could have just gone out and gotten the Thanos Quest trade instead of getting this whole book. But um, I read a lot of Silver Surfer stuff in the past few months. Obviously, with the Aftermath books, had a lot of Silver Surfer stuff in there. The Guardians of the Galaxy readathon that I did also had a lot of Silver Surfer stuff in those books, so it kind of got me a little bit more interested in the character, and that's why I picked this book up because I figured if I'm gonna go read this whole story, I want to get some more context around it. So I bought this. You can just see here, just going off comparing the size of these books. This is almost 500 pages versus under 300 for the other book. So yeah, and this book just came out I think back in May. So I got it on a damage sale. Got it for like a little bit under $20. So pretty good deal I think for this. And this is my first Silver Surfer Epic Collection, so I'm excited to have this. It was oh, I can see why it's damaged, but that's not even a big deal. You can see here on the top here, there's a little bit of little chip, little like little dent in the cover, but I mean I don't really care about that. You can barely see it. Um, so yeah, so this is really cool, really nice to have. It obviously has the two-part Thanos Quest mini series in here, so that's what's gonna be why most people go out and get this book. So yeah, so that's pretty lit. The next Silver Surfer book that I want is the original series that came out with Stan Lee and I think John Buscema. That's in the really out of print omnibus. I hope they collect that into an epic because that would sell like hotcakes. I think for a lot of people. A lot of people want to read that old Silver Surfer stuff that just has, great art and all that stuff. Either that or reprint the omnibus Marvel. It doesn't really matter to me. Okay, so getting down to it here, we got a few more epic collections. Next one up is Captain America, Hero or Hoax. And this one just came out too. This is the fourth volume of Captain America. This collects Captain America's numbers 139 through 159. This is from 71 to 73. So, still early in the Captain America Volume 1 stuff. You got, Stan Lee, John Romita, Steve Englehart, Sal Buscema. So some pretty good talent on this book for sure. Captain America, obviously, good stuff to read. The only book that I need to get now to have all four of the first volumes is the Coming of the Falcon Epic Collection, which I'm trying to wait and see if it dips down a little bit in price before I buy it, but that would, if I get that, then I would have the first 4 volumes of Captain America stuff to read, and I'm really excited to read this stuff. I haven't really read a lot of Captain America stuff, but this looks like a really good book, and this is pretty new too. This came out, I think, last year sometime, probably in the summer. I ended up skipping on it for some reason. I guess I just forgot to get it, but now I have it. So cool. I got this on damage sale too from IST. The only thing I can think of looking at this book is the spine right here. Looks like there's a little bit of chipping on the top corner here, but I mean it's such a minor problem that I don't really care. I mean, you can see a little bit when you look at the side, but who cares? Got it done. That's all that matters. All right, next book, also Captain America. This is the Bloodstone Hunt, and this one I was really hyped for. Um, you know, this collects another great chunk of Mark Grunwald's run on Captain America. So the only part that I need to collect left, I think, like the last big chunk within his run, that is like that the last hole in like all these epics that I need to fill before we move on to like other stuff with Grunwald is the Captain storyline, which was in a trade paperback. It's now like kind of like expensive online. It's kind of like at cover price, so I don't know if I want to buy that yet. But this has Captain America 351 through 371, so another 20 issue gap of Captain America stuff to own, and just looking at the back, looks pretty cool. Judging by the art, it looks like, I'm not sure if that's Mark Bright. I think it's Mark Bright and Ron Lim. Not sure if that's who's doing the art, but the art looks really cool in this book. And I'm excited to read, the Bloodstone Hunt. It's one of those great story arcs by Captain America that I've heard about, so excited to see what that's all about. But yeah, this came out pretty recently too, and I got this on Books a Million because I had a gift card. I got it on Books a Million for like $10, so that's a pretty good deal, pretty good steal for that. Anytime you can get these epics below $20, I think that's probably the the good price range to get that for. All right, so just going through those books really quick. Next book we have here is Fantastic Four: The Master Plan of Doctor Doom. So I got the first epic collection from my friend. He actually bought it on IST when there was like this glitch that happened where it was 90% off. So the first epic collection he got like for like $3. So he bought one for me and gave it to me for Christmas or something one year. And this one is the next volume of that. So this collects Fantastic Four numbers 19 through 32 and annuals 1 and 2. So this is still Jack Kirby and Stan Lee. My friend bought me the third epic collection, so I have that. I gotta pick it up at some point. But yeah, just essential Fantastic Four stuff that I haven't read yet. Like I said before, I do have the Essentials volumes 1 through 8, but I'm probably gonna try to sell those because I just, I don't want to read Fantastic Four in black and white. I want to read it in color, so that's why I bought these. So you can see here, it's a little bit on the thinner side, I would say. Yeah, it's about 440 pages, 450 pages. So, yeah, cool stuff. I'll show the little bit of the inside. Always good to have Jack Kirby art. This issue looks cool. The Avengers take over. So we'll see what happens here. Some classic Iron Man and Thor and Hulk stuff getting in the way. Captain America as well. So really good stuff. I always love reading this 1960s stuff. It's always been, it's kind of campy in some ways, but it's really cool in a lot of ways. So yeah. All right. Last book I have here is an oversized hardcover, and I'm actually going to try to go back and get the other hardcover that matches this, and this is the Captain America Theater of War by Paul Jenkins, same guy who did the Inhumans run with Jay Lee, I think, back in like 1998 or something. Anyway, This collects a bunch of stories from um, Theater of War. They're one shots. So these ones have America the Beautiful, Brother in Arms, To Soldier On, and Ghost of My Country. There's another oversized hardcover that collects other stuff. That's I think also Theater of War. I don't think it's called Theater of War, but it's called something else. But it has like other one shots. And I actually did some research. There was a complete collection that came out that collected the one shots in here and the one shots in the other hardcover that I need to go get still. So I got this for $5, so I'm probably just gonna go back and get the other one for $5 too. But yeah, just some more Captain America stuff to read. I've read a few, um, you know, limited series for Captain America. I read, let's see, what do I got up here? I'm trying to look at Captain America White, Captain America Man Out of Time was also a really good book. Um, so, just trying to get some more Captain America stuff. This is really heavy Captain America haul. A lot of books from that character. So, uh, yeah, this is pretty lit. We'll see how this goes. It's also really nice to always have it in this hardcover format as well. It's a lot easier to read, um, and just looks it just looks better to read as well. So yeah, we'll see. So that's my haul, guys. So as you can see, this haul bought a lot of epic collections, which is always nice. Always nice to get chunks of those Volume One stuff that I'm looking for all the time. So now the goal is to try to fit all this into my collection on my shelves here. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, so that's been my haul. This is the 20th comic haul of my channel. So nice. Here's the 20 more, maybe 50 more, 100 more. We'll see. So yeah, that's been Dan. This has been Dan.